the arrival of November comes the arrival of the whitetail rut. It's my favorite time to hunt. It's, kind of famous for being the best time to be in the woods. And in Michigan, our gun season coincides with the rut. So gun season's just a few days away. There's still some of the best bow hunting to be had right now as well. But hunting the rut is not as easy as a lot of people, might think it is. True, the bucks are on their feet a lot more. They're also a little less predictable. So here's 3 things that I do to try to take advantage of the rut. The first thing that I do, especially during gun season, is I'm going to spend as many hours in a tree stand or blind as I possibly can. If I can make it all day, I will, and I try to often. It's not easy sitting out there all day, especially in a tree stand. It can get pretty monotonous, especially in days of the rut where there's a lot of breeding activity going on. There's not as much movement, but when there is, it's usually pretty intense. So I try to stick it out, take a lunch, take a lot of snacks, take water. I'll take a book with me to read, to keep myself from going stir crazy sitting in one spot all day. But the more hours that you have on stand during the prime time, it's just the better odds you have. The second thing that I like to do during the rut is I want to be in a maximum travel area, meaning I want to see a lot of deer. Now that might sound stupid and be like, well, of course you're deer hunting, you want to see a lot of deer, but there are places that you can see a lot of does, but maybe not as many bucks earlier in the season. And there's also other areas where, bucks like to hang out. I'm trying to find that place where a lot of deer travel, not necessarily where they stay, where they bed, where they feed, but an area that they're traveling through. And that's usually funnels and pinch points and edge type habitat, where 2 types of habitat meet. Those are travel routes. And right now I want to be where the most deer are walking by me, because that's going to maximize my odds of seeing a buck. Because if I got a lot of does walking by, there might be bucks with them. If a lot of does walk by there, the bucks will travel there trying to find those does. The third thing that I like to do during the rut is it's either arrive really early to get in my tree stand, at least an hour, maybe 90 minutes before any daylight, or I will wait until it's just breaking daylight, depending on the situation. And the 2 situations are this. If I have to go through any type of fields where deer are feeding, I'm going to wait until I can see those fields. Reason being, I don't want to bump any deer. I don't want to move them at all, because I don't know where they're going to go. And if it's a buck with a doe, they don't always go, into any place that makes sense. I want to try to keep them on as natural a pattern as I possibly can. If I'm hunting back in the woods along, a doe bedding area, I want to get in there early. Again, I don't want to bump any deer. I want them to start moving in, because a lot of times, even though it's the rut, older bucks where they're heavily hunted, they're going to get in there and bed well before daylight. And a lot of times, older does will do the same thing. If I can beat them there, they're going to be bedded when it gets daylight, but towards that midday period, they get up and start checking for does again, and I haven't bumped them. So they're going to get up and go about their daily routine. So hopefully these 3 tips will help you during the rut. They can apply to bow hunting or gun hunting. They work. The concept is the same for either weapon. So it's November. It doesn't last very long. Get out there and take care of business.